So, yeah, we are simulcasting on Twitter, which is Periscope, YouTube, a few other places. However, I know a lot of you are here because you want to win stuff. We are like sex toy fairy god parents, and we love sprinkling sex toys to people all throughout the land. And we got the hookup for our Get Vocal broadcast. We just gave away 4 premium toys yesterday, and we've got 4 for this broadcast. Here is how you win. You just have to be here. That's it. But the catch is, you have to be here on the Get Vocal platform. So you, right there, watching on Periscope or on YouTube, get your butt over to Get Vocal. You can go to bit.ly/Sunny Get Vocal. It's GETVOKL, and join us over there. There's an awesome person with Get Vocal named Liz, who is like putting all your names in a hat. And towards the end of our broadcast, we are going to pull out 4 names, and you will win premium prizes. You have to be present to win. The other catches, you have to be over 18 or over, and you have to have a mailing address in the United States. Those are our qualifications. I'm going to show you what we got. We got G-Spot toys, which is kind of awesome. The holy grail of there's not really true holy grails in sex, but there's a few exceptions. The Enjoy Pure Wand. This is great for G-spot play, also for prostate play. We're going to tell you about it later on when we're teaching, but it's real nice. I want to say the retail there is like $149, something like that. So one of you is going to get one by the end of this broadcast.
And its creator, Greg DeLong, is actually being inducted into the AVN Hall of Fame this year.
Oh!
He's one of 3 people
that's
getting
cool. I
it.
didn't
So,
know that.
yeah, Greg is being honored at AVN. And by the way, we're teaching at AVN. If you guys are, if anybody's around, we are there.
Yes. Okay. So this is from Blush Novelties, and I don't know how to pronounce it. Is it? Someone tell me. Is it No-Hey, No-Jay, No-He?
No-Ye?
I'm not sure, but this is a classic G-spot shape, and it's rechargeable, so you want this one. Also, the Fun Factory Stronic G.
Hello?
Hello, it's Stronic calling. The Fun Factory Stronic G. This actually pulses. So let me turn it on real quick. Okay, so see, this is on low, but see, it's going back and forth by itself. Kind of awesome. I want to say this is at least $150 value. These are good toys. And lastly, the We Vibe Tango. This is the most sought after bullet vibe. It's not traditionally a G-spot vibe, but you can still use it in your G-spot play, and we're about to tell you how. So be present on Get Vocal by the end of this broadcast. And the tango is great. But see, best bullet vibe ever. These people know. These people know. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to be talking about the G-spot until about 8:35, 8:40. I'm talking Pacific time. We don't have a time machine. For those in New York, it's like, oh my God, we just went back in time. We didn't. And then I'm going to unlock the room so you guys can pop on for questions. And then about 5 minutes to the end of the broadcast, we will go ahead and find out who won. And I'm super excited. Are we ready to go?
I think so.
Okay. So we're going to tell you all of the down and dirty of G-spot play. Oftentimes when we teach our G-spot workshops, they're 2-3 hours long. So we've got, 35, 40 minutes. Yeah. We're going to give you the stuff. So real quick, let me just make sure I got all the housekeeping stuff. Okay, good. I did. All right. So there are some G-spot myths out there. One is that everybody loves their G-spot stimulated. Everyone who has one, even if they haven't discovered it yet, when they do, the heavens are going to open. They're going to speak in tongues and have some, life-changing experience. Not true. Yeah. There are plenty of people who, once they discover their G-spot, and we'll kind of deconstruct discovering the G-spot in a minute, are like, no, clip. I like the clip better. So keep that in mind. It may not be like the holy grail that you think it's going to be. Secondly,
one thing to add here. Think about this as a tool that you're going to put in your orgasm toolbox. So it's one of a number of things. This gives you a wrench, something along the lines of, clitoral might be more of a screwdriver.
Right.
You got a whole bunch of different tools.
I'm a hungry person. So I like to,
I totally didn't think that's where you were going with that.
But I like to think of things in terms of food. So think of this as a buffet. We're giving you we're putting out a lasagna tray, whatever. You may love lasagna. You may hate it. You may eat the lasagna later. Take what you need and leave the rest. So, and hopefully, even if you're like, I know about this G-spot stuff, you might learn some things. Or even if you don't quite learn some things, maybe I'm going to tell you stuff you already knew, but I'm going to tell you in a different way. So you think about it through a slightly different lens that may help you in your sex life. So anyway, second myth is that vaginal orgasms are more mature. Once you've conquered the G-spot, you're grown. You're sex. Bullshit. Sigmund Freud put that all in our brains. He said that clitoral orgasms were like juvenile and not really the real good orgasm. And once you learn to work your vagina, bullshit. Don't listen to that stuff. Also, a myth is once you find the G-spot, it will lead you to instant orgasms. The G-spot, it's just a spot we can't find. It's like a magic button. Once we get the GPS to tell us where it is, we'll arrive on the front door every time. Absolutely not. It's a process. Kind of like when you learn to ride a bike, you keep falling down and it's a process. It's like that. Another one is that a lot of people think G-spot orgasms feel better than clitoral orgasms. Not necessarily. Like I personally, I like myself a good G-spot orgasm every once in a while. But if I never had a clitoral orgasm again, I would be a sad person. Like those are my favorite. It's like on the buffet, clitoral orgasms are my king crab legs, my Alaskan king crab legs. And then
is that good?
Yeah, they're my favorite food ever. They're my Alaskan king crab legs. The G-spot orgasm is like a little shrimp cocktail, like it's nice sometimes, but I just don't want just that.
Or anyway, nice braised tofu if you're a vegan.
Exactly. You feel the analogy. Good. High five. Never stop learning. All right. You're with me. Snow crab legs, no butter. I'll take that. I'll take any crab legs, really. Okay. So we need to first unlearn everything that we've been taught about the G-spot, because just like Fight Club has rules, it's like, what's the first rule of Fight Club? Yeah.
You don't talk about it.
Right. First rule of G-spot Club is you tell everybody. Like spread the good word of fuck across the land. But really, first rule, we're going to learn 4 rules of the G-spot today. First rule is the G-spot is not the holy grail. Don't think once I figure out how to work it, my life is going to change, because that's a bunch of crap.
You don't win sex by finding the G-spot.
Exactly. So the women's magazines haven't helped us. When we look at, I'm not going to name names because sometimes I write for some of these magazines, or sometimes I'm I was just quoted in the magazine I'm quoting right now for something good, so I don't want to diss them, but this one rhymes with schmozmo. Anyway, so they said, this is a long time ago, they've gotten better. They said, I'll never be quoted in Cosmo again. Sorry. Okay, so I'm going to choke. There are countless ways to incorporate the G-spot into every stage of sex, from foreplay to orgasm. Okay, I'm with them there until this. A gentle 2-finger tapping motion against your G-spot will stimulate the area and focus your attention right where it should be. Try it yourself, or have your guy slip 2 fingers inside you and then tap your G lightly, like, hello, is anybody home? Alternating taps with each fingertip. The taps excite the nerves near your G over and over, so each one feels like it's the first time you're being touched. I'm amazed they didn't say, okay, go to the kitchen and grab a fork, and then, because that's the kind of sex advice they give. So yeah, a lot of magazines and whatnot, gentle my ass. Yeah, we're getting there. So they make it like the G-spot finding the G-spot or manipulating the G-spot or having a G-spot orgasm, it's like cooking a turkey. Like, oh, all you do is set the oven to 325 and you slide it in, and boop, once you know what you're doing, you know,
You
once
stuff it first?
you stuff it first, you know, and then you're done. And please never make that noise while you're playing with my G-spot. Turkey play, everything to do with. So it's not like that. So, all right, if you're a diagram person, I'm going to have you do this as homework. Look at those, and for those who joined late, they're way up in the chat. There's a link. Let's see if I can do it again. I think if I paste, yeah, here's the link. So I'm going to send the link again. You don't have to look at these diagrams now. They're homework. If you're a visual learner, you might be like, okay, well, where's the bladder? Where's the G-spot? And where is it on the... It's all in those diagrams that I just sent.
Can you talk like that during sex next time?
Yes. Well, he goes, and I'm like, okay, it's a little to the left, a little bit harder. Anyway, so somebody said, gentle my ass. You can't unhear that, I know. Somebody said, gentle my ass, and you got it. So I'm going to tell you my story of discovering my G-spot when me and my G-spot first met. So I was having sex with a number of people, not at the same time. Well, sometimes at the same time, but you know, different.
What
at
about
different
this
points.
time?
This time, right? I'm not having sex with
no,
anyone.
Your G-spot time.
Oh.
When you discovered your G-spot.
Oh, it was one person. It was one person. So
you or another person too? That would be two people.
I think it was me, but I don't know. Was it somebody? I don't know. The details don't matter. Anyway, you're ruining a good story.
Never let the truth get in the way of a good story.
As you get old, some of the details fall away, so you just kind of have to insert whatever you think. Okay, so anyway, you two are tops. Yeah, we're both tops. We'll do the BDSM. Next week is BDSM. You'll learn about how we're both tops. Anyway, so you know, people would go in there and they'd be like, oh, you know, the tapping gently with 2 feet. And I'd be like, I don't, it's broken. I was born without a G-spot. I'm some, you know, genetic mutation or something. It doesn't work. Until one day somebody went in there and really like, and I discovered, okay, so I'm going to tell you what people say, those magazines. They say when you are manipulating the G-spot, this is my fictitious hand vagina. So where did I put Clementine? So here, you know, Clementine. No, I'm good. I'm good. So fictitious hand vagina. This is a person, by the way, not all people with vaginas are women, and not all women have vaginas. So this is a person, no matter how they identify, laying on their back, okay? Tummy's up here, butt's down here. I don't need you to. I don't.
But I want to.
Oh, but I'm not ready for that yet. I'm not ready. Don't show your genitals yet. A little foreplay, Ken. A little foreplay. So you go into the vagina on the upside, so the side where the belly button is. You're supposed to go in about an inch or two. It varies depending on anatomy. I'm going to ignore the dog. Ignore the dog too. So you go in with 2 fingers and you press up. You're going to feel something that has ridges on it. It's like the ridges of a peach pit. I'm really good at ignoring shit because I'm a mom. I'm a mom. When my toddlers are tearing shit up, I'm like, that's not happening. So there's ridges kind of like a peach pit, or like the ridges on a Ruffles potato chip. Or everybody right now, take your tongue, rub it over the roof of your mouth. We're all doing it together across the world. Feel those bumps? That's kind of what the G-spot feels like. So when you feel that, they say, supposed to do what Cosmo said, like just this gentle little come hither motion. And I had everyone in there come hithering and nothing happened until one day I discovered rule number 2 of G-spots. It's not come hither. It's get the fuck over here. So yes, whoever said gentle my ass. Yes, our dog's name is Waffle.
Yes, that's Waffle.
Whoever said gentle my ass, you're right on the money. Now everyone's different. I'm not gonna, you know, we never teach you in a way where it's like, this is the one way to do it. We're plopping down something at the buffet table, you know, may not apply to everyone. Maybe everyone doesn't like it, whatever. But generally speaking, most people with vaginas want you to pound the shit out of their G-spot. Like, lift me off the bed with your 2 fingers, So if you're playing with someone and you're a giver, start off slow and experiment, but communicate with each other and know that you might go to the place where you feel like your arm is breaking because you're trying so hard. Hence where the toys come in, but we'll get there in a minute. So get the fuck over here is rule number 2. Now, when we're playing with the G-spot, you have to realize how erectile tissue works in a vagina. And this is where those diagrams are going to come in. Like, go back and look at them once you absorb what I say. When you have a penis, let's look close at this kind of a penis. You have a penis, right? Erectile tissue. It's all there right in front of you. Really easy. We can see it. It's all on the penis. However, when you have the vagina is kind of like an inverted penis. But it's not that simple. It's not just like, oh, all the erectile tissue's on the inside. Oh, no. So we have the clitoris, right? Most of us are familiar with that little button right there. And most of us, when we're going down, like I play for both teams, so I know what I'm talking about, okay? So when you go down on someone, you're concentrating, or, hand sex or whatever, concentrating on the clit right here. But the clit isn't just this little tiny bump. It's the tip of a much larger iceberg. The average clitoris, depending on a person's anatomy, can be between 3 and 7 inches long. It averages about 4 or so. And if you're like, what, is my clit a penis? Like, well, no. Yeah, actually penises are like falling out vaginas, but that's a whole other thing. Your vagina fell out.
Pretty much.
We all start in utero with vaginas. And okay, so anyway, it's a whole nother thing. We only have a few minutes here. So if you look at my necklace.
Yes, same tissue.
Yes, same tissue. If you look at my necklace, this is the internal clitoris. So this little dot up here, this is what we know as the clitoris. This is the vaginal opening right in between here. What are these things? The legs and the bulbs coming down. So if you look at a vagina, you look at a vulva. Look at a vagina's on the inside. Vulva. Look at a vulva. See the clitoris? Underneath the lips are the legs and the bulbs of the clitoris. So we have all this erectile tissue here that we usually don't play with. There's also another spot of erectile tissue called the perineal sponge. If you go into the vagina, instead of feeling up like we did for the G-spot, like up here, you feel down. There's another spot of erectile tissue. So while it's easy to stimulate, I'm not going to say easy. While society has taught us to stimulate penises and we can see it all, so it seems easier, the clit has, the vagina has just as much erectile tissue. It's just hidden and in different places. It's not more difficult. Like people say, oh, operating a vagina is like operating a space shuttle. That's not true. It's just as easy. It's just we haven't been taught. And once we know, it's pretty easy. So when I'm talking about the whole clitoral complex, like all underneath there and all that erectile tissue, there's the G-spot. So remember I said you go in and you feel up. You go in like an inch or two. There hasn't been a lot of research on the G-spot. Lots of reasons why. One being, women, vaginas. How many medical studies have been on women, especially back when, right? Nobody cares about the vagina. So nobody really knows. Is the G-spot a part of the clitoral complex, like the underside? Like, again, look at my necklace. I just dropped my vagina. Prolapse! So look at my necklace here, right? So the vagina, the in between, well, it's really hard to see what I'm doing. Okay, in between, right here, that's the vagina. Right up here on the underside of what we know is the clitoris, the clitoral glands. There's a theory that that's the G-spot. So the G-spot is a part of the clitoral structure. Is everyone following? Okay, I'm just looking. Okay, so, all right. If we're manipulating the G-spot, we have to have all of that erectile tissue that is inside. We have to get our internal hard-on going, right? It's like expecting a penis to come if it's completely flaccid, right? So in order to do that, for most people, the best way to do that is have a clitoral orgasm first. That's what I do. It's like, go down on me. And this is why for this giveaway, I've got the We Vibe Tango in here. You get it now? It's a great clitoral toy. It's very rumbly. And the reason I like this is it's not just like, oh, I'm going to play with my clit. It's a rumbly vibration. And that's really rare for something this small. And what rumbly means is instead of you feeling the vibration just on the surface, like just in the clitoral glands, it penetrates your tissue and radiates deep into your body. So it helps that, and let me get my dropped Clementine, it helps that internal clitoris that lies underneath our labia, our lips, to help come alive and helps prep us for G-spot play. So, all right, rumbly, but so pinpoint. Exactly. It's a great, great toy. All right. So knowing that, it's like, okay. So let me just make sure I didn't forget anything here. Oh, I got a secret. This is why I have notes. The biggest secret, biggest takeaway. Most people with vaginas like clit stimulation. Not always, but if you're averages, most, you've been with a lot of people with vaginas, most.
Yeah, I would say the majority.
Yeah. So when you're doing whatever you do in your clitoris or clitoral glands, there's a more sensitive spot and a least sensitive spot. And you can use that to your advantage to help, like, when you're playing a video game and you're like, on your Xbox or whatever, and you're like, oh, I'm killing the big boss. And then suddenly you have this like big finishing move. This will help you figure out your clitoral finishing move. So
I'm feeling judged right now.
What do you mean?
Big finishing move. The boss. I don't know.
Okay. I hope there are quite a few gamers watching. So, okay, I'm going down on the clit. Pretend it's a clock. 12 o'clock. 6 o'clock. Oh, left to right. 9 o'clock. And 3 o'clock, right? The most sensitive spot on the clitoris for most people, again, there are no absolutes, tends to be about 2 o'clock, which would be right here. So that's for me. If I'm doing it on myself, it's my left side. For a smaller number of people, it's actually the opposite side at 10 o'clock. So if you're doing stuff to yourself, that would be your right side. So for me, like if I'm masturbating, I hang out like right side, like I'm edging myself and teasing myself, right side. And when I feel like, all right, I want to bring it, I want to have an orgasm, then I'm like right side, left side, left side, left side, left side. So a little tidbit for some clitoral fun. All right.
Let me add something really quick. If it's not 2 o'clock, it is 10 o'clock that you're going to be doing that. And the thing that actually causes that, now this is completely anecdotal. We don't know for sure that this is what it is, but the dorsal clitoral nerve comes in at those 2 points at 2 o'clock and 10 o'clock. And it's quite likely to be that it's the closest anatomical structure to the areas that are getting the stimulation. Yeah. And Latanya just asked, interesting, does it matter if you're right-handed or left-handed? So we don't know. A lot of this is anecdotal, like it hasn't been studied. However, I tend to make an analogy in my head, like most people in the world are right-handed, but there's a pretty good, group that's left-handed. It's the same with like most people in the world are 2 o'clock clitted, like right-handed, You're
but
right-clitted or left-clitted.
But and then there are some people that are 10 o'clock clitted, which is right. Yeah, so most people are left clitted, but I don't know if there's a correlation, though. I think it would be really cool. It's like someone needs to do a study. People with money and studies, figure this out. Okay, so, All right, we've had our clitoral orgasm. We are primed. All of our erectile tissue, we got that internal heart on. We are ready to go. We're ready to start playing with the G-spot. We come to rule number 3 of G-spot Club, which is relax your body and relax your mind. Sex shouldn't be goal-oriented. Yes.
Relaxing.
Sex shouldn't be goal-oriented. It shouldn't be like, so much of our sex is like we're racing to the orgasm. We're racing to the orgasm. We need to stop we need to learn to stop and like smell the flowers or smell the vulvas or smell the, this is very Georgia O'Keeffe. I don't know.
Smell the enjoy.
Yes.
Wait, like this. Beauty. Let's see.
There we go.
Ladies
I feel like
and
we're like, I don't know, it's some like 70s cocaine scene is happening here. I don't know what's happening. Anyway, you know, when you have the goal of having an orgasm, it takes all the fun out of it. You start to get the performance anxiety and all that. So really do what you need to relax. It might be like playing Enya. It might be, if you're into BDSM, getting a good beat down. It might be getting
Enya? Really?
I don't know. I'm going to the spectrum from
Enya?
Enya to really severe corporal punishment and anywhere in between. Whatever relaxes you, do it. It's really, really, really important. Also, be well hydrated. If your goal is to squirt, which we'll get there in a minute, you know, you can't squirt out what you don't have in you. You know, especially if it's a night of drinking, right? You're dried up. Like, so make sure you're well hydrated. And now the pee-pee thing. A lot of people, when they played with G-spots, they're like, you know, and I've heard this from so many people. I was having sex with somebody and it was feeling suddenly different and really good, like really good. And one of two things usually happens in this scenario is, but then suddenly I felt like I was going to pee and it freaked me out. So I like clenched everything up, or I had them stop what they were doing or whatever. Or the second scenario is usually, and I kept going because it just felt so good. And then after we were done, there's this huge fucking puddle on the bed. And then this just breaks my damn heart. But there are some people who are like, who, you know, I was sleeping with someone and they shamed me. They were like, what, did you pee in my bed? And that's like traumatic, you know, and of course that person never wants to feel that feeling again because it led to being shamed and feeling like they peed in the bed and So yeah, you're surprised it hasn't been studied more.
Yeah.
Me too. So yeah,
Really quick, it's 8:30 and share the link again.
8:30, share the link again.
So
Okay.
Is that cool?
Yeah. Okay. So, sorry, I got a runny nose. Okay. So we're gonna tackle this pee-pee thing. A lot of people, they can't relax because they feel like they're gonna pee, and then they clench up, and then they can't really enjoy the G-spot. So I'm gonna tell you right here, you're not gonna pee. Okay. And even if you did pee, Ken loves pee. There's a lot of people out there that are like, so what? So what if it's pee? So here's what I'm going to tell you. Like, even me, I
Pee
know.
on me.
Not right now. Later. And then only if you go like a turkey while I pee. So, even I, the sexuality educator with a husband who loves being peed on, I still, like, when we do G-spot play and we're done with sex and he goes to the bathroom and washes his hands, I'm like, whatever towel was under it, I'm like picking it up like, did I pee? Did I pee? Like, I still get paranoid because we're so ingrained that that's supposed to be embarrassing and we're supposed to be ashamed. So I usually tell people to get over that. Yeah, waterboarding. What I tell people to get over that is like, so think you're going to pee. Right? You likely are not going to pee, you know, like guys can't pee when they're, or not guys, people with penises can't pee when they are going to come. It's like the pipes don't cross was the analogy I'm looking for. You know what I mean? It's the same sort of thing. Yes, it's the same sort of thing. But you know what? Think you're going to pee. Put down towels, put down tarps, get one of those Liberator throw waterproof blankets, whatever, like just
never cross the street.
Come to terms with it. Because you got to let that shit go, because you're not going to relax unless you let that shit go. But I'm going to tell you right here, odds are you are not going to pee. So,
hi, Liz.
A lot of people never cross the streams. Yeah. A lot of people say before you do G-spot play, empty your bladder. Depends on your anatomy. A lot of times they say that because you feel like you're going to pee. And why do you want to increase your chances of peeing if that's a source of embarrassment, that sort of thing?
LaTanya has a good question.
Yeah. Tanya, so G-spot orgasm always lead to squirting. Okay. We're going to get to that in a minute. Does G-spot orgasm always lead to squirting? No. Orgasm and squirting can be two separate things, or they can happen at the same time. You can squirt without an orgasm, you can orgasm without squirt, or you can do both at the same time. We'll get there in just a second. So, wait, where was I? My brain. Okay, so peeing. Okay, empty bladder. That's where I was. So, all right, when you're in the G-spot, you're manipulating the G-spot. Turns out that a couple things are going on here. The G-spot is also called the urethral sponge because surrounding the urethra, like the tube where you pee out of, is a bunch of erectile tissue. And this is really important, erectile tissue, because that's where we believe, again, the studies aren't great, but I would swear on a stack of, not Bibles, because I'm not really religious, but a stack of something important.
Science textbooks.
Yes, I would swear on a stack of science textbooks. Yes.
Biology books.
This is, yes, anatomy books. I don't know. Anyway, this is how it happens. Okay, so the urethral sponge, which is erectile tissue that surrounds the urethra, has these glands called Skene's glands. These glands are where the squirt comes out of. The squirt is actually very similar to prostatic fluid in people with penises, which is very interesting. It contains something called PSA, which is prostate-specific antigen. What? Yes, thank you. My brain, it's getting old. And they also, oftentimes, the prostate is sometimes dubbed the male G-spot, and sometimes the G-spot is called the female prostate. It's believed that they're actually the same thing. They just serve different functions in people with different anatomy. And I don't like to talk gendered, but I'm just telling you how, what people refer to them out in the wild as. Okay, so when you're manipulating this G-spot, what you're pressing up against the urethra, and right on top of there is your bladder. So every time you're doing this, you're poking the bladder. Well, of course you feel like you're going to pee, right? And if your bladder is full, you're going to feel like you have to pee more. However, depending on how you're angled in there, if your G-spot kind of naturally tucks up in there, you might want to have a fuller bladder, because what happens is G-spot's here, bladder's here. If the bladder's full, it pushes the G-spot down. And suddenly the G-spot is more accessible, it's more pronounced, it's more swollen. So don't always think, gotta pee before I do G-spot play. Maybe you're one of those people where it would be better if you didn't pee. Experiment, again, buffet, see what works for you. So I'm just looking. Yeah, we did an episode on Sex with Sunny Megatron where we actually tested, took the squirt to a lab to see what was in it. Anyway, so when it comes to squirting and manipulating the G-spot, so you're manipulating the G-spot, you want to have a good orgasm, right? You may have an orgasm. It's going to feel a bit different than a clit orgasm for a lot of people. But again, we're all different. There are some people that are like, it's a full body orgasm. There's some people it's like, it's such an orgasm, it's emotional and it makes you cry. And then there are some people that are like, meh, it's not all that, you don't know what you're going to be.
Let me address one question really quick. Adam just mentioned he had several people tell him that it was pee. Yeah, that's a common misconception, because there is a small amount of urea in the ejaculate. It oftentimes can smell a little urea, but it might taste a little sweet. It might be range anywhere from clear to slightly yellowish to creamy and milky in color. Mm-hmm. And its consistency changes from person to person, and there's a lot of variety between heredity and what the person consumes, whether it's alcohol, cigarettes, and what kind of food they eat.
Yeah,
all of that makes a difference.
Yeah, think about it. The squirt, the ejaculate, is coming out of your urethra. Those Skene's glands feed into the urethra, and the squirt comes out of the urethra. That's where your pee comes out of. It's gonna get mixed up with a little bit of pee stuff. I'm very not scientific, but you know what I'm saying? It's not pee, but it's traveling down the same highway. So yeah, there's gonna be a very, in a lot of cases, trace amounts.
Yeah.
So
no asparagus.
No asparagus, unless you're a sadist. That's next week's live stream. So how can you, okay, first of all, I didn't just tell you like the secret to finding the treasure on the map. It's not like, oh, I'm going to go play with my G-spot now and it's going to be life-changing. No. Again, it's like riding a bike. I gave you some tools to try to manipulate and play with it. You may be falling on your ass riding that bike for years until you can ride down the street without elbow pads on, right? But you're enjoying the journey. That's the whole point. It's not like now and you're done. You're starting a journey, and this journey could take weeks, it could take months, it could take years, and maybe you'll never get there. But that's okay. We're all different. So just frame it that way when you're embarking on your G-spot play, or you have renewed inspiration and different creativity when you try your G-spot play. Can everybody squirt? We don't know. Theoretically, people say yes, everyone can squirt. However,
I disagree.
However, there's a lot of caveats there. There is one thing that happens to a lot of people is their ejaculate, instead of coming out of the urethra and spraying out, a couple things can happen. One, all right, let me get Clementine here. All right, doing G-spot play. I'm gonna get the enjoy because that's this thing. I'll explain how this works. Doing G-spot play, right? I'm pounding that G-spot, and suddenly the person, Clementine, feels like she's gonna squirt, but nothing happens. And then feels good. Yeah, some kind of orgasm happened, and maybe when we're done, there's that puddle on the bed. But let's say I'm like Ken, where I'm like, you gotta squirt me all over the face because that's the hottest shit ever. Didn't happen. So a couple of reasons. Here we got my little flower urethra here, right? Okay, so that's a urethra where the squirt comes out of. So sometimes when you have something inside the vagina, you're dragging the urethra into the vagina. So the liquid's coming out, but it's not spraying. It's kind of dribbling inside, and that's why you have the puddle. So for people like that, if you get to the point where you feel like, I know when I'm having that feeling, first of all, don't clench up when you have that feeling. Like, let it out. Just let it open yourself like a flower.
Relaxation is key.
Mm-hmm. And then tell your partner, or if it's yourself, tell yourself, hey, I think it's going to happen. Have that partner pull out. And then you might see in porn, you'll see people like, fuck, and then the pull out, and then the squirt will happen. That's why. For other people, there are some people that squirt or ejaculate retrograde back into the bladder, which means it's not coming out at all. It's not coming out in the vagina. It's actually going backwards, backing up back into your body. So we don't know if, hey, technically everyone can squirt, but the people we don't think squirt might be going retrograde back into their bladder because that's just the way their anatomy is. We'll never know, but there's really no way that we know of to make it come out.
Joseph is an interesting question.
Yeah, Joseph. Okay, there's probably an age factor as well. Young mothers as opposed to olders. Yeah, and again, this is anecdotal, but I have found as people get older, they squirt more. I know that happened with me, and now I can't stop. Now I'm just like, oh God, I just want to fuck without a puddle under me. Like, please, I can't control it. So be careful what you wish for. But I do wonder if age has something to do with it, and I don't know if it's age because you have more knowledge, or age because something is actually happening different in your body that we just don't know. But I think you're onto something there. Okay, let me get to the toys because we're starting to, we gotta get to questions. The Enjoy Pure Wand. This is my favorite toy for G-spots. Again, there's no holy grail. However, you saw what I did with it, right? So like this thing, it's not like, oh, I'm gonna put it all the way in. Remember, the G-spot's only an inch or two inside, right? So you take this bulb, and you could use this small one. Most people I've found like the bigger one, but not always. And you just rest it gently inside. Let's say my G-spot's like right here, right? You just rest it gently inside. So you can do just a gentle rocking motion. It's doing this pounding for you. Gentle rocking motion. I know some people that do like this with it. So that's what it's used for. And one of these days we'll do another live stream about prostate play, which is strikingly similar. And there's a lot of people with prostates that like to use this end for prostate play. So if you're a couple with two different sets of anatomy, you can share this toy, clean it well. But it's really awesome.
I want to add one thing real quick. If you're a person that has a tilted uterus, one of the things that you can do to achieve success is if you're lying on your back, stick a pillow under your rear end. If you do that, that slight elevation will make a huge difference because the angle with both fingers and toys like the Enjoy Pure Wand are going to hit the spot a little bit easier.
Yeah. And if you don't get, again, there's just something magic about the Enjoy. And yeah, there's no holy grail, but I will bet odds in Vegas
We're in Vegas.
That's why it's going to win. But similar shaped toys. So this again is kind of a curve with a bulb. This one's great. This is one that one of you are going to win. The thing about vibrate, and here's another similarly shaped toy. Oh, I just turned it on. This one vibrates. Whoops, turn off. I didn't really talk about vibration until I accidentally turned this one on. Reason being is if you're playing averages, most people with G-spots don't really dig vibration on their G-spot, to be honest with you. It's more that pounding, like get something in there and do this, like vibrating just is like, what's tickling me? But again, everyone's different. It's kind of cool if you do buy a toy, if you buy one that does vibrate, because if you don't know what type of person you are, you can use this not on. And then if you're like, oh, or you can turn it on and do clip play with it and then turn it off and go for the G-spot when you're ready for, that part.
You know what you should talk about for just 1 second?
Huh.
The fuck saw.
Yes.
No, we don't have it here.
Oh, we should have got it. Okay.
Do you want me to go get it?
No, because we don't have to. Okay, so this is one of the things we're giving away. It does the motion for you, which is kind of cool. So it's a thruster. So if you're by yourself or just, whatever, it's an option as well. Okay, we're going to open it up to questions in a second, but I also want to tell you about the fuck saw, which is a reciprocating saw. Does not have a blade on it. Don't worry. The blade is off. It's replaced with a dildo. So it has 2,500 thrusts per minute. It is one of the best, aside from this, because you still gotta, it's a lot of work. The fuck saw does it for you. You just pull the trigger on the base of the reciprocating saw and it makes the dildo do this. And it's, oh my God, we've had fuck saw parties and it's like people lined up like orgasm after orgasm. People like, my first G-spot orgasm. I love to be the orgasm facilitator at sex parties. Like, it is my favorite thing. So
that was us at the, somebody asked about the Northwestern.
Yes, that was us at Northwestern. So Google Northwestern fuck saw. That was us. Anyway, we're going to unlock the rooms and open it up for questions. So let me see here. I think if I just click to unlock, it'll unlock them all. Yay! And then I'm going to put it in a square. I think it's changing for all of you if I put it in a square. Less work, the better. You got it, JoJo. Seriously. And by the way, everybody, if you're here for me and Ken, thank you. We love you.
Guys.
But know that we're part of a bigger evening. The Wednesday night is the Connection Zone. Get Vocal started at 5 p.m. Pacific with sex, dating, and relationship shows. JoJo is the host of Clam Chatta. There are a bunch of other shows. I know, it's so good. It's
great name, JoJo.
But there's like Black Girls Texting. There's Dateable. I think Dateable's happening right now. Like we're neck to neck with each other. But there's a bunch of stuff. So stick around next Wednesday. Come early and watch some of those shows. Okay, we have
from Tulip.
Yay! Hi. All right. Oh, someone came on and they left. Yeah, and you missed seeing us at Tulip. We missed seeing you too. Okay, so here's the story. If you want to come on and you're like, fuck no, am I gonna show my face? Cover your camera. Hey! Okay.
Take those fucking glasses off. I will smack you so hard. We know, Crystal, this is consensual. Thank you. All
right. So, and I just want to have everyone, when we do our questions, let's keep them kind of short so we can get around to everyone.
Nick.
All right.
How's it going?
Hey, John.
Hey, we're going to take Crystal first. So what's up, Crystal?
Nothing. I just wanted to say hi.
Oh, hi. We love you. Here, I'm going to slap you across the face.
Oh, hold on.
Okay, wait. Okay. We love you.
Thank you.
Love you,
You're welcome.
I'll come
Hey, John.
come back.
Okay, cool. Hey, John, what you want to talk about?
Oh, I unfortunately only got a presentation, but I'm just listening in.
You're just listening? Okay, cool.
Great.
Cool. I'm so glad to have you, and I hope you win some cool stuff. Like, I have my fingers crossed. Woohoo! Hey, Nick.
Hey, Nick.
How's it going?
It's going.
Good.
It's
Did
going.
you have a question for us tonight?
Well, I guess just what I can come up with is out of all the toys you've shown, like, what's your top one for both male presenting or female use?
Well, there's two parts of that. Do you mean stuff for the butt or stuff for the cock, like, or just male presenting in general?
Well, no, I'd say the ones you've shown tonight, like ones that can go either G-spot or I guess you want to call it P-spot use.
You know what? There's literally one answer to that question, and it's this toy right here. Because the angle is the same on both of these. Most of the toys on the market right now that bill themselves as both a G-spot stimulator and a P-spot stimulator, it's sort of like shampoo with conditioner. It's not, the angles are very different on both of those things. Even though the motion of this device can get it there, when you have a generic one-use sort of dildo-looking thing that hits either P-spot or G-spot with that, it doesn't really hit either. It's more likely to hit the G-spot though. The P-spot has a slightly more hooked angle to it.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
But this one actually hits both, and it's simply like Greg's patented design on this. And this end in particular, for me at least, feels great. And it's not just like that I necessarily want something smaller or larger, but the angle that's here feels better on the P-spot than the large angle here.
Okay.
Yay! Does that answer your question?
Does that answer your question?
Absolutely, yeah. Well, I'll jump off here and let somebody else hop on if they want to.
And I see swinging down under. Hello.
Hey.
Hey.
And we see faces. Hi.
How are you guys doing?
Good. How
Really
are you?
good.
I'm great. I have a question. I know you mentioned before, if you're trying to have a G-spot orgasm, maybe to try some clitoral stimulation. I've got the Enjoy. I bought it about a year ago, and I'm telling you, like, I'm month on month, I'm trying to have one. Like, it's like and I've made it almost my 2020 goal now. Like, it's getting that point. So aside from trying to have a clitoral orgasm first and then moving on to using the Enjoy, I mean, is there anything else that you guys can recommend to me that might help me get in that zone where I can actually have a G-spot orgasm with that, like, Enjoy on my own? Help me.
Okay, so let me make sure I know what you're asking. So you've been using the Enjoy and it's not doing it. You have the clitoral orgasm first. What, describe to me, like, is it just like you're kind of getting there, but you never get over the hump, sort of?
Yes, that's what's happening. Like, it feels fantastic, and I'm still using the Enjoy, and I'm really enjoying it, which is why before, when you said try clitoral orgasm first, I was like, I'm gonna go upstairs in like half an hour and try that. It's close, like, it's really close. It feels fantastic, but I just can't get there unless I then have some sort of other stimulation at the same time, so I just didn't know if you had any other, helpful hints.
Yeah, I would say, if what you think is going to get there is multiple stimulation, then if there was a way, and I know it's hard to do if you're by yourself, like having something on your clit and something, it's like, oh, you need 18 arms. And there aren't really any good, like, wearable clit vibes, unfortunately, which really sucks. And it's like, it's not like you can put something in underwear to hold it there to do your clit while you're doing this, there isn't a great solution, but like grow a third arm. And I would also say, but again, this requires another person.
I have a suggestion.
But what?
Do you do rope bondage at all?
I mean, I do it when we go to events because my partner doesn't know how. So when we go to an event and there's somebody there who knows what they're doing, absolutely, I'll be like, yes, please come over and help me.
Okay, well, I wanted to know if maybe you could, and this is one possible solution. If you are good enough at rope, you can actually tie it right to the spot.
Like a mini wand.
Like a mini wand or a Hitachi, something that has a notch in it. And literally, like, take it and go under the thighs, over the thighs, and up through the butt and back around. and you can actually secure it there well enough where you can kind of scooch around to get whatever spots you are.
I get it, yeah.
May I ask a personal question that this might like illuminate?
But
How are you?
I'm red, not because I'm embarrassed. I'm red because I'm in Asia and it's fucking hot. So just so you know, when you ask me this question.
How are your arousal levels? Like when you're watching porn, are you in like on a scale of 1 to 10? Are you at a 7 or below, or an 8 or above?
Honestly, it depends on the way that the air is, flowing through the house. Like literally, sometimes I'll just be cooking in the kitchen and the heat from the oven, and I'm like, holy shit, I'm super aroused from that. And other times I'll be on the train and the same thing. And then other times I'll be actually trying to get in the mood and I just can't. So, I try to set the scene. I try to like be a bit more sensual, watch some porn that I like and set it that way. So, and I think you said before about having more of an erect G-spot will help that too. So I don't know. I'm going to try all of the things.
Yeah.
There's two things that extreme arousal. And I know that like telling somebody to like get aroused while you're watching porn, obviously you're going to get aroused. But you want to get to that level where it's up an 8 or above. That does two things at the same time. It slightly increases your chance of having that G-spot orgasm because you have a number of different nerve clusters that are working in conjunction to make that orgasm happen. And a lot of them depend on extreme arousal. There's a second byproduct of this, and that is if you're doing anything anal, you actually have a chance to gape the more that you get aroused. So like if it's the dirtiest, filthiest thing that just makes you like shout yay to the heavens, that's the thing that you want is like the dirtier the better, or not necessarily dirty, but whatever gets you the most aroused out of anything.
Yeah, a couple things I'm thinking is like extreme edging, for like a couple of hours where you're edging and you're getting the orgasm but not having it. Or even like, adding a butt plug to the mix. You got all, G-spot, clit, and butt all at the same time.
Yeah.
Maybe one of those little things that is just enough to like throw you off the cliff.
Okay, that sounds great. Thank you guys. I'm gonna give that a go.
Cool.
All right, hi Joshua.
Hey, we're gonna take Josh real quick. We got to do a giveaway in a minute, and then we'll see. Hopefully we can get to you, Dawn.
We'll get you, Dawn. I promise.
Well, or we can do the giveaway and then get to Dawn.
Okay.
So we'll figure. Okay, Josh.
Joshua, go.
All right, cool. Thank you. So my question is, for men, can you explain Kegel exercise, like Kegels for men, and how that works?
You know what? That's something we'll address more directly in the prostate class. But the Kegels for men, what you do with that is there's a muscle that operates like whether or not your erection bounces up and down. Have you ever done that thing where you're in the shower and you're making your dick bounce up and down all by itself? The muscle that does that is the same muscle that stops and starts your streams of urine coming out of you. So what you can do is there's a couple of really good exercises. It's called the PC muscle or the pubococcygeal muscle. And the two ways that you can exercise doing that, what are you doing? Put
Just
it back
keep
on.
talking. I have to look at our winners.
I have to look at his face.
Okay, hold on. All
okay,
right.
thank you. Jesus.
Sorry.
So what you're going to do there is you're going to do two things. You're going to start and stop your streams of urine. Do it 10 times. And like try to divide that up into 30 altogether. So like start, stop, start, stop, start, stop. Do it 30 times with one stream of urine, and then do it again. Just constantly exercising that muscle. The other thing, get an erection, put a wet washcloth over it and bounce it up and down just by using your PC muscles. Doing those two things together will start strengthening it. The third thing that you can do as you're sitting right now, clench your butt cheeks as hard as you can. Hold it, hold it, hold it.
Everyone do it. Everyone in the chat.
Hold it, release. Do that 30 times. All right, so just do it as long as you can. You can do that riding a bus, in your car. Like, be careful in traffic though. Like if you're, driving around and nothing to the point where you get into an accident. But you get the idea. You can do it sitting at home, wherever you want to.
Cool.
Okay.
Yay. So real quick, Dawn, we're gonna get to you, but I want to do the giveaway, and then what we'll do if we shut down, but we can stick around and keep talking. So real quick, let me like manipulate my windows here so I can see the winners. Okay, so here's the order we'll do them in. What do we have? We have the Tango, the Stronic G, the Nohe.
I want to do the Enjoy last.
And the Enjoy. Okay, so the Enjoy's gonna be last. All right. So what's gonna be first? So someone type in the chat. What's gonna be the first one? The Nohe, the
And the NOJE.
NOJE, the fun for whoever says it first. That's gonna, and the tango. What do you guys want to be first?
Anybody.
Someone tell me. Type it. Or I'm just gonna close my eyes and pick. Nobody. Dawn, what should we give away first?
No, there's a bunch of people that
Oh,
said it.
shit.
Well,
Is it not? Oh, it's not refreshing.
Yes.
We're just okay.
Okay, the first
What's the
person,
first thing?
Liz with the Noye.
Okay, so no-yay, no-hey, no-jay, whatever. It vibrates. It's awesome. Belinda. So Belinda, who is here, I have your email address. I will send you an email. Belinda, let me know in the chat if you are not over 18 or if you do not have a mailing address in the US, because that is required to win. So we would sadly have to pick someone else, Belinda, if that's the case. So let me know. But if you're good,
Why
you're
are you
over
picking on
18.
Belinda?
Belinda,
Why
are you
you
over
why you
18?
singling her
Are you
out?
in the
Okay, let's
US?
go. Move,
Okay.
move. Chop, chop,
You
chop.
win
Let's
this.
go.
Okay, next thing.
Tango.
Tango. Okay, who wins the tango? Jane. Jane, you've won the tango. Again, let me know in the chat if you're not over 18 or you don't live in the US, because then we'll have to be sad and we'll cry and then we'll have to pick somebody else. So congratulations, Jane. You got the tango. All right, so next is the the Fun Factory Stronic G goes to Joseph. Joseph, there may be more than one Joseph in here, and I don't want to say your name. Joseph C. Joseph C. Hope if there's more than one Joseph
Yep,
C.
that's you, Joseph.
Okay,
Yes.
cool. All right. I have all of your emails. So the email that you use to sign up to get vocal with. So expect an email from me in the next 24 hours, and I'll
Keep
get
going.
your information. And then lastly,
Nope. We still have
no, that's
3
it.
more people.
Right. No, there's extras just in case someone isn't in the
Oh,
US.
gotcha.
Okay. So then, and by the way, the people at Get Vocal like randomly generated names and then sent me a list of like who they randomly generated.
Oh, Belinda's in Australia.
Belinda, you're in Australia. Okay, so hold on. Well, we got somebody else. I just saw. So, okay. So,
Oh, no, we have a list, Lupus.
Latanya, you got this. You got this. You got it. So I will be emailing you. Please be in the US. And so we have our first winner is not in the US, which is sad. So we're going to pick an alternate. We have an
And we have
alternate
the alternates.
for the no-hey is Meredith. Meredith, let me know if you're not 18 or you're not in the US or you're not here in the chat. And so I think we did it.
Meredith, say hi. And can you put the other screen back, please?
Yeah, I had to look at the notes.
Yeah, I know.
I know.
I know. We're married.
Shut up, Canada. Okay.
Okay.
So,
Meredith, are you Carrie E. Tompkins?
all right. So, yay, Meredith's here. Salty balls. I know.
Good.
But listen. Those of you who didn't win, don't be sad. Wipe those tears. Wipe those tears. Because we have 3 more of every week for the next 3 consecutive weeks after this. We're giving one of these away and then 3 more toys. They're different than these. Like they all alternate, but it's good shit. Like stuff that has a value of up to $200 per thing. So don't cry.
And sorry,
eyes.
Belinda.
Wipe those eyes. So yeah, that's it.
Casey!
Hey, Casey! All right, I'm just looking at the chat here. Congrats, it's been fantastic, awesome. We want to respect your time, and we're gonna stick around, Dawn, and we'll keep talking. Is it okay?
Like right now, Dawn, go.
Okay, go.
Oh, right now?
Now.
Sure.
Okay, I got a real quick question about the fuck saw.
Okay.
Sure.
My current partner has one of them, but the saw that he attached it to weighs about 1 million pounds. I'm wondering if you have information anywhere on your site or can point me in a direction where we can choose a different saw that will work with it.
Are you being attacked by
And of
Chihuahuas?
course my dogs go nuts. Sorry about
Should
that.
we call anybody? Are you okay?
Oh, they're fine.
Yes, there's absolutely something.
They
you
just
can
have a
do.
bug up their butt at the moment. Come on.
There's a really easy solution for this if it's a little bit too heavy. If you go to stockroom.com, they have a decent selection of the fuck saws, and they have ones that have an aluminum vacuum lock. And that's what you're doing, is you're basically taking a silicone dildo, putting it on an aluminum vacuum lock, and then it goes back and forth an 1 3/4 with like it's a skill saw, I think, isn't it?
Yeah. And by the
But
way,
there's no blade. It's just like
Yeah.
a vacuum lock with a dildo
and
attached to it.
it's pretty lightweight. I mean, not super lightweight, but it's decent.
But it's about
And
7 pounds, I think.
if you want 15%
Okay.
off, because I got the hookup for everything, go to bit.ly, bit.ly.
Put the link in.
Hold on, Sunny Stockroom, just all one word. You can put it bit.ly/Sunny Stockroom, and then use the code Sunny SUNNY at checkout, and you get 15% off most things at Stockroom. There are a few exceptions.
Okay.
Hopefully, the fuck saw isn't one of them. I haven't seen. So real quick, before we get to other people, bit.ly. Yeah, you got it. Before we get to other people, I want to say thank you for those who have to log off. Please come back. Next Wednesday, we're doing BDSM 101. After that, all about sex toys. And then on the 5th of February, all Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Pacific, we're going to do a game of Kinky Family Feud and invite some guests on. It's going to be really fun. So thank you. We really appreciate you. And I know like there's some Patreon people here. We appreciate your support on Patreon and all that you do. We
Guys,
we love
Patreon,
you.
like we really, really love you. Thank
Yeah.
you so much. Your support genuinely means the world to us. It's what helps us pay our rent every month. It's what helps us
Yeah.
live. So we
Yeah.
really appreciate it.
And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the broadcast. However, we're going to hang out and answer some more questions. Hopefully, Liz, you're in the chat. Can you tell me if I stop the broadcast, will we still all be here, or should I just keep the broadcast going? Okay, Gisela said yes, we're good. So, okay, I'm just going to stop the broadcast and we're going to hang. So, everybody who's watching on the recording, we love you. And
Bye,
again,
Gisela. Bye, Liz.
I didn't press record when we actually started. So I'm Sunny Megatron. This is Ken Melweinberg. Tune in American Sex Podcast, americansexpodcast.com. And thank you. All right. Bye.
Bye.
And, stick around. Stick around. Okay. Are you sure you want to stop broadcasting? Yep. I said yep.